championships for Gannon's Golden Knights as both the men and women's basketball teams have big playoff games this week.
Erie Sports Now's John Leidick just landed in St. Joseph, Missouri, where the women are getting ready to play tonight's game. He's live in Missouri right now. So, John, what can we expect to see in tonight's game?
Well, Mike, the atmosphere is starting to pick up. The Gannon Lady Knights, they decided to join me for the live shot as they get warmed up here. Coming up in less than an hour's time, their first ever meeting against Cal State San Marcos. Gannon comes in here as the top seed facing the 8th-seeded Cougars, and the first meeting between the two clubs. And Gannon riding an 11-game win streak. Meanwhile, Cal State San Marcos comes in riding an 8-game win streak. Now, Gannon not unfamiliar as a program to playing in this building. As part of that 37-0 undefeated team that made a run to the national semifinals, they played right here as their first trip to the Elite Eight back in 2010. And of course, they also went to the Elite Eight back in 2013. Now, Gannon comes into this matchup facing a Cougars team that ranks in the country right in the middle 60s in terms of points. They score per game around 70. They come in giving up just 60, but they played a lot of close games to get to this point this season. Gannon, meantime, coming away with victories in the Atlantic Regional of 15 points or more in all 3 of their matchups. Now, Mike and Eva, I want to make note, there have been plenty of questions about how you can watch these games. The first round matchup here tonight coming up at 7 o'clock Erie time. You have to go to ncaa.com to watch the matchup. You will have to pay for a championship pass. But once, if Gannon should advance, they get to the national semifinals and then maybe to the championship game. That, of course, they could set things up as they get prepared. You can watch that on the CBS Sports Network if that is part of your TV cable provider. I know a big question mark, but of course we'll have coverage of the highlights, full highlights of this one coming up tonight, and of course post-game reaction. And stay tuned to our social media platforms as we'll have pictures and videos as we get you set for tip-off and then coverage throughout the game. We're reporting from the Division II Women's Elite Eight Tournament with Gannon. I'm John Leidick for Erie Sports Now. Back to you in the studio.